Consider for a moment those times in your life when you felt lost, uncertain, not knowing which path to take or what action to pursue. Perhaps you're in such a situation right now. The world around you may seem chaotic, options may appear limited, and the future uncertain. But I say unto you, in these very moments of apparent confusion and indecision lies your greatest opportunity for growth and manifestation. But what is this that you must do when you don't know what to do? It is not a matter of external action or logical analysis. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that the answer, the guidance, the path forward is already within you, waiting to be imagined into being. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your consciousness. It is a mirror faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, your imaginal acts. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and vividly imagining a desired state, even in the face of uncertainty, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach moments of uncertainty. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of external circumstances, desperately seeking guidance from the outside world. You become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you imagine and feel a desired state, the universe must rearrange itself to match this new inner assumption, providing the guidance and clarity you seek. But how, you may ask, can one tap into this inner wisdom when the outer world seems so chaotic and uncertain? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination, combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together, they form the very workshop in which reality is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as true and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your imaginal acts. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how uncertain or impossible the situation may seem to your rational mind. So when you find yourself in a moment of confusion, not knowing what to do, this is what you must do. Turn within to your imagination. Create a scene that implies your desired outcome has already been realized. Feel the relief, the clarity, the certain knowing the perfect path has been revealed to you. Live in this imaginal act as though it were your physical reality. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of what to do when you don't know what to do. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality, to find clarity in confusion, lies within you, waiting to be expressed through your conscious imaginal acts. It is about understanding that your outer world of uncertainty is nothing more than a reflection of your inner conversations and imaginal acts, which can be radically altered by assuming a new state in imagination. Consider the biblical phrase, "Be still and know that I am God." This is not a mere poetic expression or a call for passive acceptance. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of your inner being. When you become still, when you quiet the chatter of your worried mind and enter into your imagination, you are connecting with the God presence within you, the source of all wisdom and guidance. But let me be clear, this turning within, this use of your imagination in moments of uncertainty is not about escapism or denial of your current circumstances. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, of the perfect solution already realized. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the person who has already received the guidance they seek. You go to sleep not as the person bound by uncertainty and confusion, but as the person who is clear, confident, moving purposefully towards their desired outcome. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person facing a critical decision in their life, perhaps choosing between two career paths, unsure of which to pursue. Their outer reality shows no clear signs of which path to take. Now imagine this person deciding to turn within to their imagination. As they quiet their mind, they create a scene that implies they have already made the perfect choice and are thriving in their new career. They feel the satisfaction, the certainty, the joy of knowing they are on the right path. They allow this feeling to permeate every cell of their being. They live in this imaginal act not just for a moment, but they return to it again and again, especially as they drift off to sleep at night. When they awaken, something has shifted. They may not see immediate external changes in their circumstances, but internally, they are no longer the same person. They have experienced the reality of clarity and certainty, and this new self-concept begins to reshape their outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, they find themselves naturally drawn to information, people, and opportunities related to one of the career paths. They approach the decision-making process with a newfound sense of calm and confidence. Ideas and insights that were previously obscured suddenly become clear. And as they continue to live from this state of clarity and certainty in their imagination, their outer world begins to reflect this inner knowing. The perfect path reveals itself, often in ways they could never have logically planned or anticipated. This principle applies to every aspect of your life where you find yourself uncertain or not knowing what to do. Whether you're facing a relationship challenge, a health concern, a financial decision, or any other situation that leaves you feeling lost, the key is to first assume the state of clarity and knowing in your imagination. Feel the reality of having perfect guidance, of knowing exactly what to do. Live in that state, in your imagination, and knowing that as you do so, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, how can simply imagining a solution really provide guidance when I truly don't know what to do? Surely I need to gather more information or seek advice from others. And to this I say external information and advice can certainly play a role, but they are secondary to the wisdom that comes from within. When you turn to your imagination first, when you assume the state of clarity and knowing, you align yourself with infinite intelligence. From this aligned state, you will be guided to the right information, the right people, the right circumstances that will support your desired outcome. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness that gives life to your experiences. When you remain in a state of confusion and uncertainty, constantly seeking answers outside yourself, you are breathing life into a reality that perpetuates that confusion. But when you turn within, when you assume the state of clarity, and knowing in your imagination, you set in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of this new inner reality. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to knowing what to do when you don't know what to do. It is about aligning your inner conversations and imaginal acts with the state of clarity and guidance, recognizing that this desired reality is seeking expression through you, and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your imagination and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this shift in consciousness, This practice of turning within when faced with uncertainty is not always an easy task. The old habits of worry, of seeking answers outside yourself, of feeling lost and confused are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. As you embark on this new way of approaching uncertainty, you may find resistance arising within you. Doubts may creep in. Old thought patterns may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts and feelings. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your imaginal act of clarity and knowing. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want, but by persistently embodying what you do want. This persistence, this unwavering commitment to living in a state of clarity and guidance in your imagination, even in the face of outer uncertainty, is what allows you to truly transform your reality. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your chaos of confusion or forcefully push away thoughts of uncertainty. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of clarity and guidance, to align your entire consciousness with the reality where you know exactly what to do. This tuning is done through your imagination and your ability to generate feeling states. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to fully embody the state of clarity and knowing, as you feel the reality of being divinely guided, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, this is not a one-time event. Turning within and using your imagination when you don't know what to do is a practice, a way of life. It's a constant choice to maintain this new approach to uncertainty, regardless of appearances. Just as you wouldn't expect to stay in shape by exercising once, you cannot expect to master this practice by using it once. This is about persistently turning within, about maintaining the consciousness of clarity and divine guiding in and day out until it becomes your new normal. As you do this, you will find that your perception of uncertainty begins to shift. What once seemed like confusing, chaotic situations now appear as opportunities for growth and new possibilities. Challenges become stepping stones to greater understanding. You begin to see yourself as the empowered being you truly are, knowing that divine guidance is always available to you through your imagination. Now some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I maintain this practice of turning within when my outer world still seems uncertain? How can I persist in feeling clarity and guidance when circumstances seem to contradict it? And to this I say, your imagination infused with feeling is more powerful than any circumstance. Consider for a moment, have you ever been deeply moved by a story, whether in a book or a movie? In those moments, were you not feeling real emotions based on imaginary events? Your feelings were real, even though the events were not happening in your physical reality. This is the power you must harness when you turn within in moments of uncertainty. You must use your imagination to create scenarios that evoke the feelings associated with having perfect clarity and guidance. Imagine how you would feel if you knew with absolute certainty the perfect path to take. Feel the relief, the confidence, the sense of peace that would come with this knowing. Feel these states as vividly and as consistently as you can. The key is to make your imaginal act as real to you as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the sensations in your body associated with clarity and confidence. Hear the words of wisdom that come from within. See yourself moving through your life with purpose and direction. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this inner experience and physical reality. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific solutions or outcomes. The goal is to capture the essence of the feeling state associated with having divine guidance and knowing exactly what to do. For it is this feeling state that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Instead of trying to imagine the specific details of a solution to solve, capture the feeling essence of being divinely guided. Imagine a warm, comforting light filling your being, bringing with it a sense of absolute knowing. Feel the peace, the certainty, the alignment that comes with this state. See yourself moving through your day with an unshakable confidence, knowing that each step you take is divinely guided. By focusing on the feeling essence rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your solution to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of knowing what to do when you don't know what to do. It's not about forcing yourself to come up with a solution through sheer willpower. It's about aligning yourself with the truth of your divine nature, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about living each day from the state of being divinely guided regardless of outer appearances. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps you start to notice more synchronicities in your life, or you find yourself naturally drawn to information or people that provide the guidance you seek, or solutions to problems that once seemed impossible begin to present themselves effortlessly. These are all signs that your inner shift, brought about by turning within, is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your imaginal acts are taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from the state of divine guidance in your imagination. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself navigating complex situations with ease and grace. You may notice that decisions that once paralyzed you with uncertainty now become clear and obvious. You may achieve outcomes you once thought impossible with a sense of effortless alignment. And as you continue to turn within and live from the state of divine guidance, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-unfolding clarity and purpose. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the state of consciousness from which all desired experiences naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you're truly embodying the state of being divinely guided, when you're fully living from this consciousness, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your state. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you are always divinely guided. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life where you always know exactly what to do. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to find solutions and make decisions? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you're consistently turning within and living from the state of divine guidance, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is the difference between trying to figure things out through sheer mental effort and allowing solutions to unfold naturally. When you're trying to force clarity, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and uncertainty. When you're living from the consciousness of divine guidance, actions flow naturally from your aligned state, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly what steps to take. Consider the example of a river flowing to the sea. The river doesn't strain to find its path. It doesn't force its way through obstacles. It simply flows, naturally finding the path of least resistance. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you align yourself with the consciousness of divine guidance through your imagination, you allow your life to unfold naturally and beautifully, always knowing the perfect steps to take. But let me be clear, this state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate and focused embodiment of the state of being divinely guided. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to always know what to do through your connection with infinite intelligence. This faith is not about believing that you'll figure things out someday in the future. It's about knowing that you are divinely guided now in this very moment, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in turning within and living from the state of divine guidance, you'll begin to see evidence of always knowing what to do in your outer world. These signs may start small, an unexpected insight that solves a problem, a chance encounter that provides exactly the information you need, a sudden clarity about a decision you've been struggling with. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner world, shaped by your imaginal acts, is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of a life where you always know is now exactly what to do, even in the face of apparent uncertainty. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that turning within and relying on their imagination for guidance might somehow disconnect them from reality or lead to impractical decisions. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of turning within for guidance, you realize that you are not separate from reality. You are the creator of your reality. As you elevate your own consciousness by connecting with the divine guidance within, you are elevating your ability to navigate the physical world with grace and wisdom. I want you to understand that these habits we'll discuss are not external forces imposed upon you. They are patterns of thought and behavior that you have accepted, perhaps unknowingly, as part of your reality. But just as you have accepted them, you have the power to release them and step into your true, limitless nature. Let us begin with the first habit, living in the past. My dear friends, how often do you find yourselves dwelling on past events, reliving old hurts, or longing for times gone by? This habit of living in the past is perhaps the most insidious of all, for it robs you of your true creative power, the power of now. You see, the past as you perceive it is nothing more than a shadow, a memory traced in the halls of your mind. It has no substance, no reality, except that which you give it through your attention. When you dwell in the past, you are quite literally creating it anew in your present experience. Imagine, if you will, a projector in a cinema. The images on the screen seem real, don't they? They evoke emotions, trigger responses. But are they truly real? No, they are mere projections, illusions of light and shadow. Your memories, your past, are much the same. They are projections of your consciousness given light by your attention. But here's the liberating truth. You are not the projectionist, bound to play the same reel over and over. You are the projector itself, the source of all images. You have the power to change the reel, to project new images, to create a new reality. How do you do this? By fully embracing the power of the present moment. By recognizing that now is the only point of power. It is in this moment, right here, right now, that you have the ability to choose, to create, to manifest. When you catch yourself dwelling on the past, gently but firmly bring your attention back to the present. Feel the aliveness of this moment. Recognize that in this now you are free, you are powerful, you are divine. The past no power over you unless you give it power. This leads us seamlessly to our second habit, worrying about the future. Just as living in the past robs you of your power, so too does anxiety about the future. How many of you lie awake at night mind racing with what ifs and worst case scenarios? This habit of projecting fear into the future is a misuse of your divine creative power. You see, my dear friends, the future does not exist except as a concept in your mind. It is a blank canvas waiting for the strokes of your imagination. When you worry about the future, you are using your God-given power of creation to manifest the very things you fear. Remember, your imagination is not just idle fantasy. It is the very workshop in which your reality is forged. What you imagine with feeling, with conviction, becomes the blueprint for your experience. When you worry, you are imagining negative outcomes and imbuing them with the power of your emotion. You are in essence praying for what you do not want. Instead of worrying about the future, I urge you to use your imagination constructively. See the future you desire. Feel it live it in your mind as if it were already a reality. For in truth it is, in the realm of infinite possibility, which is your true home, all possibilities already exist. Your job is not to make things happen, but to align yourself with the reality you prefer. When you find yourself worrying about the future, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that the future is not set in stone, but is clay in your hands. Then consciously choose to imagine the outcome you desire. Feel the relief, the joy, the satisfaction of that preferred future. Let those feelings fill your being. This is not mere positive thinking, my friends. This is the active use of your divine creative power. Now let us move on to the third habit, comparing yourself to others. This habit, my dear friends, is a particularly pernicious one, for it denies the unique divine spark that resides within each of you. When you compare yourself to others, you are looking outside of yourself for validation, for a measure of your worth. But I tell you, there is no standard external to you by which you can be measured. You are a unique expression of the divine. There has never been, nor will there ever be, another being exactly like you. Your journey, your experiences, your perspective are yours alone. To compare yourself to another is like comparing an oak tree to a rose bush. Both are perfect expressions of life, yet wholly unique in their manifestation. When you fall into the habit of comparison, you are denying your own divinity. You are saying to the universe, I am not enough as I am. But I assure you, you are more than enough. You are in fact all that is. For in your true nature, you are one with the divine, one with all of creation. Instead of comparing yourself to others, I urge you to turn your gaze inward. Recognize the divine spark within you. Celebrate your unique gifts, your particular way of expressing the infinite. For it is in embracing your true self, your divine nature, that you find true fulfillment and peace. When you catch yourself making comparisons, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of this truth. I am a perfect expression of the divine, whole and complete as I am. Feel the truth of these words resonating in every cell of your being. For as you acknowledge your own divinity, you automatically release the need for external validation. This understanding leads us naturally to our fourth habit, seeking approval from others. My dear friends, how much of your life is spent seeking the approval of others? How often do you shape your actions, your words, even your thoughts, based on what you believe others want or expect from you? This habit of seeking external approval is a denial of your own inner guidance, your own divine wisdom. You see, within each of you is a direct line to the infinite intelligence of the universe. This inner knowing, this divine guidance is always available to you. It speaks to you in the language of intuition, of feeling, of inner knowing. But when you habitually seek approval from others, you drown out this inner voice. You replace divine wisdom with human opinion. Remember, no one else can know what is right for you. No one else walks in your shoes, sees through eyes, or knows the stirrings of your heart. The approval you seek outside yourself can only ever be a pale reflection of the divine approval that already resides within you. Instead of seeking approval from others, I urge you to cultivate a deep trust in your own inner guidance. Listen to the still, small voice within. Feel for the path that resonates with your deepest truth. For it is in aligning with this inner knowing that you step into your true power, your divine nature. When you find yourself seeking approval, pause, take a deep breath. Turn your attention inward and ask yourself, what do I know to be true? What feels right to me? Trust the answer that arises. It may come as a thought, a feeling, or simply a sense of knowing. This is your divine self. guiding you towards your highest good. Now, let us explore the fifth habit, negative self-talk. My dear friends, the words you speak to yourself are perhaps the most powerful in all of creation. For these words, these thoughts are the very instructions you give to the infinite to create your reality. When you engage in negative self-talk, you are quite literally programming yourself for limitation and failure. You see, the subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts as truth whatever you tell it repeatedly. When you habitually engage in negative self-talk, saying things like, I'm not good enough, or I always fail, you are instructing your subconscious to make these statements reality. Here's the liberating truth. Just as you have the power to program limitation, you have the power to program success, abundance, and joy. Your words, your thoughts, are the tools with which you sculpt your reality. Instead of negative self-talk, I urge you to consciously cultivate positive, empowering inner dialogue. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply love and respect. Affirm your divine nature, your inherent worthiness, your unlimited potential. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, pause. Take a deep breath. Then consciously choose to rephrase your thoughts in a positive, empowering way. Instead of I'm not good enough, say I am constantly growing and improving. Instead of I always fail, say every experience brings me closer to success. Remember, my dear friends, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. You have the power to choose which thoughts you will entertain, which seeds you will water in the garden of your mind. This understanding brings us to our sixth habit, perfectionism. Perfectionism. It masquerades as a virtue, doesn't it? The relentless pursuit of excellence, the refusal to settle for anything less than the best. But I tell you, my dear friends, perfectionism is a trap. It is a denial of your divine nature, which is already perfect, whole, and complete. You see, the pursuit of perfection implies that you are somehow flawed, incomplete, in need of improvement. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of your true nature. You are not a human being striving for perfection. You are a perfect divine being having a human experience. The habit of perfectionism keeps you in a constant state of striving, of reaching for a future state of better. But in doing so, it robs you of the joy and power of the present moment. It keeps you focused on what's wrong rather than celebrating what's right. Instead of perfectionism, I urge you to embrace the concept of excellence. Excellence acknowledges your current perfection while allowing for growth and expansion. It celebrates your efforts and achievements rather than constantly finding them lacking. When you find yourself caught in the grip of perfectionism, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of this truth. I am already perfect, whole, and complete. My experiences are opportunities for joyful expression, not tests to be passed. This shift in perspective allows you to approach your endeavors with joy and enthusiasm rather than anxiety and self-criticism. It allows you to fully express your divine nature in each moment, rather than postponing your joy to some future state of perfection. Now let us explore the seventh habit, avoiding responsibility. My dear friends, the avoidance of responsibility is perhaps one of the most limiting habits you can cultivate. For in avoiding responsibility, you are denying your own power as a creator. You are saying to the universe, I am not the author of my life, but a victim of circumstance. But I tell you, there are no victims in this universe, only creators who have forgotten their power. Every circumstance in your life, every experience you have is a creation of your consciousness. This may seem a heavy burden to bear, but it is in fact the key to your liberation. You see, when you avoid responsibility, you place the power to change your life outside of yourself. You wait for circumstances to change, for others to behave differently, for luck to smile upon you. But in doing so, you give away your God-given power to get in. Instead of avoiding responsibility, I urge you to embrace it fully. Recognize that you are the author of your life story. Every thought, every word, every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your existence. When you embrace this responsibility, you step into your power as a divine creator. When you find yourself avoiding responsibility, pause, take a deep breath. Then ask yourself, how have I created this situation? What can I learn from it? How can I use this as an opportunity for growth and transformation? These questions shift you from a victim mentality to a creator mentality. Remember, taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means acknowledging your power to create change. It means recognizing that regardless of what has happened in the past, you have the power to choose your response in this moment, and in doing so, to shape your future. This understanding leads us seamlessly to our 8th habit, fear of care. The fear of failure. How many dreams has it strangled in their cradle? How many divine expressions has it silenced? This habit, my dear friends, is perhaps the most limiting of all, for it keeps you small, keeps you safe, keeps you from expressing the fullness of your divine nature. But what is failure really? Is it not merely a judgment, a label we attach to certain outcomes? And who is the judge? Only you. You see, in the infinite realm of possibility, there is no failure. There are only experiences, each one an opportunity for growth, for learning, for expanding your consciousness. When you fear failure, you are saying to the universe, I do not trust in my divine nature. I do not believe in my ability to grow and adapt. But I tell you, there is nothing to fear, for you are an eternal being, a spark of the divine. No experience can diminish you. No outcome can lessen your inherent worth. Instead of fearing failure, I urge you to embrace it as a teacher. See every failure as feedback, as valuable information guiding you toward your highest expression. For it is often in our greatest challenges that we discover our greatest strengths. When you find yourself gripped by the fear of failure, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of this truth: I am an eternal being, whole and complete. Every experience enriches me. Every challenge strengthens me. I cannot fail, for I am always growing. This shift in perspective allows you to approach life with courage and enthusiasm. It frees you to take risks, to try new things, to fully express your divine nature without the paralyzing fear of what if. Now let us explore the 9th habit, lack of self-discipline. My dear friends, self-discipline is often misunderstood. Many see it as a form of self-denial, of forcing oneself on unpleasant tasks. But true self-discipline is something far more powerful and liberating. It is the ability to align your actions with your highest intentions, to bring your outer world into harmony with your inner vision. You see, each of you has within you a vision of your highest self, your most divine expression. This vision is not something imposed from outside, but a knowing that comes from your deepest essence. Self-discipline is the bridge that allows you to bring this vision into reality. When you lack self-discipline, you are at the mercy of your fleeting moods, your temporary discomforts, your habitual patterns. You allow the small everyday self to override the wisdom of your higher self. In doing so, you deny your own divinity, your own power to shape your reality. Instead of viewing self-discipline as a burden, I urge you to see it as a form of self-love. It is the highest respect you can show to your divine nature. When you exercise self-discipline, you are saying to the universe, I honor my highest vision. I commit to my own growth and expansion. When you find yourself struggling with self-discipline, pause. Take a deep breath. Connect with your vision of your highest self. Feel the power and aliveness of that vision. Then ask yourself, what action would my highest self take in this moment? Trust the answer that arises and act on it. Remember, self-discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistent effort, about choosing again and again to align with your highest intentions. Each time you make this choice, you strengthen your connection to your divine nature. You expand your capacity to create your desired reality. And finally, we come to our 10th habit, neglecting self-care. My dear friends, your physical body is the temple of your divine spirit. It is the vehicle through which you experience this earthly realm, the instrument through which you express your divine nature. When you neglect self-care, you are not honoring this sacred vessel. But self-care goes beyond mere physical maintenance. True self-care nourishes your mind, your emotions, your spirit. It is about creating space in your life for joy, for rest, for reflection. It is about honoring your needs, respecting your boundaries, and nurturing your deepest self. When you neglect self-care, you are saying to the universe, I am not worthy of care and attention. But I tell you, you are worthy of all the care, all the love, all the attention you can give yourself. For in caring for yourself, you are caring for a unique expression of the divine. Instead of viewing self-care as selfish or indulgent, I urge you to see it as a sacred duty. Just as you would tend to a precious garden, tend to yourself with love, with attention, with devotion. For as you nurture yourself, you increase your capacity to express your divine nature, to bring more light into the world. When you find yourself neglecting self-care, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what does my deepest self need in this moment? It might be rest, nourishment, movement, connection, or quiet reflection. Trust the answer that I resist and honor it. Remember, self-care is not about pampering yourself occasionally. It's about consistently honoring your needs, respecting your boundaries, and nurturing your whole being. It's about creating a life that supports your highest expression. Now, my dear friends, as we come to the close of our exploration of these 10 habits, I want you to understand something crucial. These habits, these patterns of thought and behavior, are not your true nature. They are simply habits, learned responses that you have adopted over time. And just as you have learned them, you can unlearn them. You see, you are not these habits. You are not your thoughts, your emotions, your past experiences. You are the awareness that observes all these things. You are the divine consciousness that animates your being. This awareness, this consciousness untouched by any habit, any pattern, any experience. When you recognize this truth, when you identify with your true nature rather than with these temporary habits, you reclaim your power. You step into your divine inheritance as a creator, as a shaper of reality. So I urge you, my dear friends, to be vigilant. Watch your thoughts, your words, your actions. When you catch yourself falling into these habits of mental weakness, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of your true nature. Choose again, this time from a place of power of divine knowing. Remember, every moment is a new beginning. Every breath is an opportunity to realign with your highest self. You are not bound by your past, by your habits, by your perceived limitations. You are free here and now to choose again. As you go forth from this place, carry with you this knowing. You are a divine being, perfect, whole, and complete. These habits we've discussed are not flaws to be corrected, but opportunities for growth, for expansion, for more fully expressing your true nature. Embrace these opportunities. Use them as stepping stones on your journey of self-realization. For as you release these habits of mental weakness, you make space for your true strength to emerge. You allow your divine light to shine more brightly in the world. And know this as you do this work, as you consciously choose to align with your highest self, you are not just transforming your own life. You are contributing to the transformation of the entire world. For we are all one, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. Your growth, your expansion, your light touches us all. So go forth, my dear friends, with courage and conviction. Recognize these habits when they arise, but do not judge them. Simply choose again. Choose to align with your highest self, your divine nature. For in doing so, you are fulfilling your sacred purpose. You are becoming who you truly are. Remember always, you are powerful beyond measure, loved beyond imagination, and capable of more than you could ever dream. Now go and let your divine light shine.